I get asked this question more than you'd think, especially when people find out I grew up Amish. Do Amish women shave? Well, sit down because I'm about to tell you everything you never knew you wanted to know about grooming in the Amish community. And trust me, it's not what you're expecting. First off, let me introduce myself. I'm Sarah, and I spent the first 18 years of my life in a traditional Old Order Amish community in Pennsylvania. Now, before you start picturing what you think you know about Amish life, let me tell you that Hollywood got a lot of things wrong. So, do we shave? The short answer is complicated. The long answer is going to surprise you. In my community, once a woman gets married, she stops shaving her legs and underarms completely. I know, you're probably thinking that sounds uncomfortable, but here's the thing nobody tells you. It's actually based on a biblical interpretation about not altering what God created. But here's where it gets interesting, unmarried women. We had a bit more flexibility. When I was 16, my older sister Rebecca secretly taught me how to shave using our father's razor. We had to be so careful because if Ma'am caught us, we'd be in serious trouble. We'd sneak into the bathroom before dawn, and Rebecca would keep watch while I fumbled with that old-fashioned razor. I was terrified I was going to cut myself. But here's what's really fascinating. Different Amish communities have completely different rules. My cousin Emma lives in Ohio with the Swartz and Truber Amish, and they're even more strict. Women there never shave, ever, but my friend Hannah, she's from a more progressive New Order community, and some of the women there do shave even after marriage. The facial hair situation is even more complex. Amish women don't typically have issues with facial hair, but when they do, the response depends entirely on which bishop is in charge of your district. Some allow tweezing, some don't. I remember my Aunt Martha had this one stubborn chin hair that would grow back, and she was constantly stressed about whether removing it was considered vanity. Now, here's the part that'll really blow your mind. Eyebrow maintenance. Most people assume we don't touch our eyebrows at all, but actually, plucking stray eyebrow hairs is generally considered acceptable grooming, not vanity. The difference between acceptable grooming and forbidden vanity is this invisible line that every Amish woman learns to navigate. And leg hair in winter? Let me tell you, it was actually pretty practical. Those long dresses and thick stockings meant nobody saw your legs anyway, and that extra hair was like natural insulation during those brutal Pennsylvania winters. But the pressure was real. I remember sitting in our living room during a quilting bee, listening to the older women discuss a young woman from another district who'd been caught shaving. They talked about it for weeks. The shame and judgment were intense. The interesting thing is, cleanliness is extremely important in Amish culture. We might not shave, but we bathed regularly, kept our hair clean and properly covered, and took great care of our appearance within the boundaries of what was considered appropriate. When I finally left the community at 18, you want to know the first thing I did? I didn't run out and buy makeup or fancy clothes. I bought a pack of disposable razors. Standing in that drugstore aisle, holding those pink razors, I felt like I was holding a piece of freedom I'd never experienced before. But here's what I want people to understand. These rules aren't about oppression, at least not from the inside. For many Amish women, following these guidelines is a way of showing devotion and maintaining their connection to their faith and community. It's about rejecting what they see as worldly vanity and focusing on inner beauty and spiritual growth. My mother always said that when you spend too much time thinking about your appearance, you have less time to think about serving others and growing closer to God. Whether you agree with that philosophy or not, it's deeply meaningful to the women who choose to live by it. So, to answer the original question, do Amish women shave? Some do, some don't. It depends on their community, their age, their marital status, and sometimes just their individual bishop's interpretation of Scripture. But what's universal is that every choice about their appearance is made within the context of their faith, their community, and their understanding of what it means to live a simple, humble life. And honestly, after experiencing both worlds, I can tell you that the freedom to choose what to do with your own body hair is something most of us take for granted. Whether you shave or don't shave, just remember that choice itself is a privilege not everyone has.